All right, so real quick, guys, I'm sitting here. I just did a review on my AR rifle that a lot of people have been asking me to do. So it's not a review, it's just a breakdown on what it is that's on there. It was built from scratch, so people wanted to know, what type of barrel, what caliber it was, and all that. So I put that aside. I'm done with that. Basically, what I wanted to talk about real quick is just it just came to my mind, and many of us want things to happen right away, and patience is a virtue, guys. Patience is needed. It's key in everything that you're doing. It is something that a lot of people oversee. It's something that a lot of people tend to dismiss because they feel right away that, and I'm talking about, it could be business, it could be relationship, it could be, going to college, it could be pretty much anything or any decision that is important to you, whatever it could be buying a new car, whatever it is. Maybe to me that's not important, but to somebody out there, it could be moving into a new apartment, buying a home. Should I buy a home or an apartment? Patience is key, guys. Go out there, do your due diligence, do your research in whatever it is. Go out there, do your research, do your due diligence in whatever it is that you're pursuing. Relationships, obviously super important. If you're looking for somebody that you're going to spend the rest of your life with, obviously that's super important, guys. And a lot of us, and I say us, I'm talking about, the human race. And I don't want to speak for the human race, but just speaking through what I've gone through and what I've seen other people go through. People make an important decision just based on feelings and emotions. And feelings and emotions are great because it allows us, to come closer to each other and maybe even render aid or just be there for somebody, emotionally, spiritually. Super important, but feelings can also deceive you because it's right there at the moment. And so you make decisions right there and then. How many times have you gone to a store and then you walk out with something and you're thinking, man, did I really need this? Did I really need to spend this kind of money? And then maybe even go back and return it. Decisions based solely on emotions can definitely come back to haunt you, guys. So be patient in everything that you're doing, in anything that you want to do. Have a plan, even if it's finding that right person for you. Be patient, think about things. A lot of people say, well, we like the same movies and, blue is our favorite color. Those things, and again, I'm not a professional here, but I'm just telling you what I know. Those things, they're not as important as how many children do we want to have? How do we want to raise those children? Spiritually, what religion do you want to raise them in if you both have separate religions? I mean, those are the things that need to be talked about. Your finances, where are you going to live? What are your goals in life, especially if you're young and you're starting out, people that are getting married at such a young age. Those things are super important, guys. Those are the things that you need to look at and you need to patiently figure out. Unless, obviously if you have, your way in life and you stand on certain things, then that you only want 2 kids or 1 child. Or if you know that, hey man, I'm going to go to college, and you knew that from the very beginning, all right. But it took you that long to get there, and your decision right there and then, you already know it because you've been thinking about it for so long. I'm talking about, somebody that maybe isn't in a relationship, and the next day they are in a relationship, and then in 30 days they get married. They got married within a month. And I'm not saying that those relationships don't work, but for the most part they don't. You will get some relationships where I met her one day, I married her the next day, and we've been together for 60 years. That's great, that's awesome. But statistically, those relationships don't go well. Those decisions are important. They're very important decisions, and we need to be careful when we're making decisions like that. Same thing in business. You do your due diligence. Now, in business, it's different. I've talked about the 40% rule where, entrepreneurs and people, billionaires talk about how they go by the 40% rule. If you're 40% sure, then dive into it, because if you wait too long, then it may be too late. And I'm not saying that everybody goes by that rule, but I've heard people talk about it. But at the same time, you take your time when you're going to make a decision that's going to change the impact of your business. You take your time because you don't want to go solely on emotions. I've done it before. I'm guilty of that. We've spent money where we haven't gotten it back because we thought we were going to go this direction, and we spend money, and then we look back and we're like, why did we do that? And not to say that if you're patient enough, you're going to get the answer so that you won't have to go through that. You're always going to make mistakes, right? Because then you're just too patient, and now you're just procrastinating, and now you're not doing anything because you don't want to fail now. And so again, I've talked about this, guys. Failure is part of success. Don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid of not trying, right? So go out there and try it. But at the same time, make sure that you study what it is that you're doing, relationship-wise. That's why you sit down and you get to know that person and get to know them well, because, a lot of times we think, well, once we get married, those things will change. They're not going to change, man. If she's like that, she's going to be like that. If you're like that, if he's like that, he's going to be like that. So again, make sure that you understand what you're getting yourself into. Do your due diligence. Be patient. Be patient. People that want things tomorrow usually end up making mistakes. Now, again, I've said it, failure is a part of success, but come on, guys. If you have a track record of falling every single minute of the day, then obviously you need to change things, right? Einstein said it best. He said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over, trying to get different results. Go out there and change your method of operation. You'd be surprised, man, how something as simple as that can take you to the next level. Do your due diligence. Be patient, guys. Please be patient in everything that you do. Super important, guys. Super important. Just thought I'd share that with you guys. I really felt the need of sharing that after I did a breakdown of my AR rifle. I know it's kind of weird. I don't know why it just came to me. I think because it took me a while to build this thing, but it was done right, and it works great. So I think maybe there was a connection there in my mind. I have no idea, but thought I'd share this with you guys. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you guys soon.